सादर जय जिनेंद्र। नाहर जेबीएन महाकुंभ में आपका स्वागत है। और जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि 100 बिजनेस आइकन्स, yes, that is the promise we made to all our audience, that we are going to interact and we are going to bring the wisdom of these business icons to you. Today we have Shri Ankit Sahu ji with us, who is the founder, managing director of Objectify. Yes, what do you mean by Objectify? Objectify is a company which was established in 2013 in the space of 3D printing. They are serving the industry in aerospace, defense, automotive, transportation, and so many large industries from oil and gas also. They have a very world-class facility in Delhi NCR. It's a family-run business. Mr. Ankit has done his graduation, post-graduation from UK in engineering. So welcome to you, Ankit ji, in Nahar JBN Mahakumbh. And we are really grateful to have you in your busy schedule. You find time to visit the Nahar JBN Mahakumbh, which is a virtual expo globally attended by more than 100 cities. Thank you very much, sir. And
thank you, Rishiki. Thank you for the invitation. And it is my privilege. And as I said before also, it is my great privilege to do this interview with you. And I feel really happy to be connected with you.
thank you, sir. Thank you. And I would like to know, let us come that, many people, business owner particularly, when it comes to 3D printing, they feel that is it like something coming out of a printer, some small thing or big thing. So people don't have any idea. Of course, when you go to YouTube, get a lot of things. So how this idea of 3D printing hit you when while you were studying, or it was something by design or by chance?
So when I was doing my undergraduation at RV College of Engineering in Bangalore, there was one seminar where they introduced the 3D printing technology. And so after that, I was involved in my undergraduation in a project of Formula Student, where we used to make a race car and take it to events all across the world. So I have personally participated into 3 international events during my undergraduation, where we presented our cars in Germany and Italy. And so that technology was new to me then in 2008. But when I started my master's at University of Warwick in UK, I was doing my master's in manufacturing systems engineering. So I started working on my master's thesis on additive manufacturing, where we were trying to do rapid tooling for Jaguar Land Rover cars. So that's how the interest in the technology grew. And when I was studying there, my professor got me introduced to Jaguar Land Rover team. So I worked for small, like very minimal time prototyping engineer. Am I audible? Is it fine?
Yeah, perfectly. Yes.
So then after that, I really wanted to pursue PhD in this topic itself. So I went back to my professor and I asked what is to be done about the PhD. So I have submitted my research proposal to him, but he said this is the right time to start something, and he told me that you have a business acumen towards it, and if you will spend 5 years in your PhD in UK. In that meantime, you can establish your own company and you can perform really well in that. And his words I took and came back to India. And we started Objectify Technologies at SIDBI Innovation Incubation Center at IIT Kanpur with my brother Arpit Sahu. So he's a graduate out of IIT Kanpur itself. He has a dual degree in physics from IIT Kanpur. So we both started initially. The start was with small laboratories and small research groups at IIT Kanpur itself. But in 2015, we shifted to Delhi with our industry grade printers. And in 2016, we started our metal services. And currently, we are one of the largest service bureaus in additive manufacturing in Asia, if you leave China. So if you take Middle East, South Asia, India, so we are one of the largest service bureaus. We cover from customers like Boeing, Airbus, Collins Aerospace, Honeywell Aerospace, the ISRO, Currently, we have some of the qualified component with SSLV in the ISRO, which will be taking the first human flight from the country. So it is currently a proud moment for us.
Yes.
Then we also work with customers from the automotive space. So any automotive engine which got developed during BS4 to BS6, the first initial trial runs were done at Objectify. So you name any of the OEMs from Hero, Bajaj, TVS, Royal Enfield, Tata, Mahindra, who actually develops their engines in the country. So we have been proud partners with them, and they gave us the greater push to adopt this technology as fast as possible. So there have been greater interaction with our customers. Currently, we are serving more than 800 plus customers, ranging from aerospace, oil and gas, automotive, white goods, and medical equipments. So during the first COVID times in 2020, uh, we started working on ventilator tubings.
Wow.
We started printing the ventilator tubings. And in the current 2021, the second wave, we worked on a lot of BiPAP products for certain medical equipment companies. So these new challenges and new opportunities is giving us a push to expand further. So it has been a greater journey, and it has been all support from friends, family, and our customers who have given us that amount of confidence to us. So we are really happy to be part of this ecosystem. So
I'm really excited to hear that in 7.5 years, you have created a 800 or large customer base, which are so big names, and you are serving not only the traditional requirement, you are also geared up for the upcoming, like, pandemic kind of a situation wherein the requirements are more of a emergency based kind of a thing. So, now my ask is that you need a lot of raw material, lot of supplies, and in today's term the supply chains are getting disrupted, getting reimagined, getting rebuilt. So in terms of 3D printing, how do you see that as an entrepreneur and as an expert in this subject? How do you cope up with the challenges of ensuring your consistent supply so that you can meet the demand, which is of course growing at a 25% CAGR year on year, being at $17 billion opportunity worldwide, and India is picking up very fast on this.
yes. So raw material supplies has been a key concern for us seeking in the pandemic itself. So most of our raw materials is imported either from Germany or from the United States. But certainly there are certain companies in the country itself who have been producing these raw materials as a byproduct of their majority of the product. So India is a very risk averse country. So nobody in the initial go will try to work upon a technology driven activity. So India really works with a model of a proven business. So a lot of capital investment is required. So that risk taking ability of the Indian entrepreneur is very much required. So that's where the opportunity also lies, because India as a country itself is moving towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, and
Right.
that Atmanirbhar Bharat is one of the greatest opportunity for Indian entrepreneurs to grab the opportunities. But having said that, the major trouble is towards the capital investments. So, so, so if there is an ease of this kind of an activity, then certainly India is ready to produce and become the next China. Uh, but India will take some time, and
Yeah.
slowly
Because
move.
as you rightly said, the scale, the skill, the capital availability, the kind of mindset to grow by leaps and bound, of course all things need to be aligned. And our education system, because you have been educated from a country like Germany, which is one of the leading country in terms of manufacturing excellence and design, etc. So how do you see that in India as an opportunity creator? Because now you are an opportunity creator, like you are creating opportunity not only for these big companies to simulate certain things, to basically design excellence, to basically do something wherein they can save a lot of cost and they can save a lot of efficiency in terms of their design. Now, when it comes to hiring people, like today, what I understand that you hire approximately 100 people in your team. So when you expand your team, when you hire a new person at any level, be it a junior level or at a senior level, what kind of a three qualities you look into them as an owner that for your potential hires?
So in hiring and in life, I actually follow a Pareto analysis.
Mhm.
I try to do Pareto as much as possible. So 80-20 rule. So what I say is like 20% is the hard skill and 80% is the soft skill. If somebody has the ability to learn, then a junior level person can also become a senior. And if somebody is only valuing upon his hard skills, then certainly his growth can stop there itself. So mostly we try to work with as much as possible with young graduate entry level engineers, because it is easier to train them. Because in our technology, more than learning, it is first de-learning. And if you have a clean slate of a young engineer, then writing on that slate is easier for us. So that's how we work upon the skill development at our end. And certainly I have been giving talks across the country in all the universities these days, because of the new initiative by Niti Aayog, Atal Innovation Center. So I have been talking to a lot of train the trainer programs. So I've been training a lot of professors and a lot of researchers on additive technologies. So that also gives a greater push to move further with enhancing the people skill. So what I certainly look as one of the most important part is the zeal to learn. That is the most important aspect of anybody's progress.
So now in the pandemic, how did you bounce back like resilience in terms of, your people not reporting, they're falling sick, or maybe some other reason, supplies are not coming. So there might be a lot of challenges you might have faced, everyone has faced. So now how do you see that, in the new normal, wherein the hybrid working systems, people working online, offline. So how you see that your company like Objectify will be geared up with the growth you are taking up, and at the same time these kind of a disruption which may come?
So, getting ready, gearing up, and answering question as it comes is something like we always look forward to. And pandemic taught us a lot of things. That value of people is more important than the value of money itself. So we tried working with our staff really well. So I had like God, by God's grace, we got permission to open both the facilities during the lockdown one. So we had been operational since I think 10th of April 2020. So we haven't closed by God's grace. We haven't closed any time after that. So we had to arrange everybody in office. We had to arrange their fooding, lodging, and all the activities. And the staff was also very supportive, and they also knew what kind of challenges they might be facing outside the office itself. So the majority of the point here was like, as we are into manufacturing, we cannot do anything like a work from home. Instead, if you're doing business development or you are doing design development, you can do those activities from work from home. But manufacturing as per se cannot be done. So we tried engaging most of our hands-on people directly in the factory, and most of the admin related or design related uh, personals work from home. So this is the hybrid model we operated. And currently, as we are talking on Zoom, Zoom has given us a greater opportunity to interact.
Right.
Earlier, these kind of activities were like just a far-sighted things, but
Right.
it also gave us that bright ideas to interact. So currently, we can do like today only. I finished. This is my eighth call in the
Wow.
day. So earlier, like when I used to visit my customers, hardly we can do 3 to 4 calls visiting them talking to them. Yes, it is good, but it has lost its human touch,
Right.
which everybody really misses. So
Yeah.
really soon, I really hope that we start meeting and greeting in person.
Yeah, I also wish that, and everybody wish that, because in the virtual reality tomorrow, if we put up the specs and then go into a universe which is a virtual metaverse, things could be completely different. But of course, we don't want to live in that world wherein we can't touch and feel, we can't vibrate the emotions. So as a manager, as a employer, as a opportunity creator, I have asked you many questions, but now I ask you a question a little bit more personal, that is an Ankit Sahu, as an individual, as a individual soul, how do you keep yourself, I would say that apart from all those innovation you do, how you like to spend your spare time? I'm sure it might be very difficult to get a spare time when you are attending 8 to 10 calls a day, but how do you do the time management? Because most of my manufacturers friends who are there in Nahar JBN Mahakumbh, manufacturing is considered to be the busiest thing in the common parlance. So how you keep your time management?
So I divide my calendar into three halves. One is my complete personal time, that is with Kriti, and my 1 year daughter. So
Yeah.
that is for family, and the other half is with my office people and my daily work chores, because that is very well required. And the third part is my personal development. So the time we are talking right now is my personal development time. So after 7 p.m. till 8:30 p.m., I try to learn my more new skills, new topics, new thoughts. So because I need to be really updated, because we are into manufacturing as a service. So we don't actually sell a direct product. We sell what we actually try to get it with the customer. So we have to be as innovative as possible if we are coming across to the customer. So that's something like we I keep on doing is self learning, and that has given me that amount of push and that amount of knowledge base currently what I have preserved. But still, there is a lot to learn.
Any 4 5 items which you generally buy in bulk, or which are majorly required by you, which you feel that India can become Atmanirbhar, and right now they are coming from outside India? Would you like to mention some of them?
So the first thing is like we procure our machinery from Germany, and that is something like of a real big concern because of the euro fluctuations or the transportation problem. We recently, not even just COVID, we also saw Suez Canal problem. So those kind of a problem is also something which India should focus upon in excelling in capital goods equipments.
Right.
So recently, there are two companies out of Bangalore who have started manufacturing indigenized additive manufacturing equipment. So
Wonderful.
that is a greater plus currently. Then our raw materials, mostly like exotic alloys like titanium, niobium, or aluminum, they come from outside India. And in India, to produce in the powder form, it requires a lot of health and safety guidelines, and so that is one of the challenge currently. Steel powders and everything India is currently producing, but uh, the only source there is only one source, so there is an opportunity to have a competitive space. So all in all, the major point what I want to understand is, because India as a country is well versed with the metallurgical side of the things, but taking a call on the capital goods side, capital investment side, India becomes a bit sluggish. And that's where these countries like engineering hubs like US, UK, Germany, Japan, and China comes and take the Indian market by storm. So if we can make these kind of opportunities within the country, then I think we'll be really Atmanirbhar. So that
Wonderful.
is.
I think Ankitji, your answers are to the point, crisp, and I really enjoyed, while talking to you. that every question you have an answer which is very deep, very, very insightful. And I'm sure our audience right now in Naharjibin Mahakumbh, who are visiting from all across the industry segment, will definitely look at the opportunities in 3D printing, and they will more browse about Objectify on your stall. And thank you very much for putting up your stall. And I'm sure if there are areas of opportunities which you are creating, I'm sure you will get a lot of interesting people. You will make a lot of interesting friends, at least in this 12 days journey, which is a relaxed business networking, we call it. Your employees can also join in, your friends can also join in. There is no fees for the visitors. Anybody can join in. Simply log in and start browsing and see what's new, what's happening, what's trending. Thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate that, busy time or personal time I've barged in.
No, no, thank you, Rishabh. It is a great pleasure to talk to you. And thank you so much. And have a great evening.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye.